What's going on, everybody? Just waiting on Dphence to accept this request so we can get started. Just waiting on Dphence. There we go. Hey, what's
What's
going on,
good?
man? How you feeling, man?
Everything good, man. This hump day,
That's good.
busy day, but
Yes,
always got a little bit of time for this right here.
absolutely,
How,
man.
how your day been?
Man, it's been a long day, man. Long, busy day, man. Long, busy
I hear
day.
you.
Long, busy day, man. So,
got
go ahead.
got some good stuff to talk. I'm about to say we got some good stuff to talk about, man. There's a lot going on in the NBA, a lot of noise going on, man, a lot of uncertainty.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I know the last couple of weeks we kind of been touching on the restart of what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19, the coronavirus, actually how it's gonna look, how it's gonna play out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's just continuing like his story still ain't going nowhere. And I just think that's what we're gonna start the thing off with today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, so with the COVID-19, man, we just saying now, uh, we just saying now that Avery Bradley has come out, man. He didn't came out and said that he's sitting. He's not gonna go to he's not gonna go to Orlando. He's not gonna go to the bubble. His chief concern is that he has a 6-year-old son. You know that who has complications and might, contract the virus, due to the complications that he already has. So do you do
Right.
you do you do you blame him for sitting out? And I haven't before you answer, I haven't heard him mention anything. I haven't heard or read anything about him sitting out due to the social injustice that's going on. It was strictly about the COVID-19 and his son being affected by it. So
Right.
do you blame him for that, or where do you believe Avery Bradley stands in all this, man?
Well, uh, before I even get in the Avery Bradley, I wanted to get into the fact that in the times that we living in right now in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
like we are in the middle of a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's first and foremost before we answer these questions and we get into this detail is that we gotta take a step back and just realize that
That's
we are
right.
in a pandemic right
That's
now.
right. That's right.
Uh, with with that being said, with Avery Bradley, I don't have nothing against him not playing or anything. It's up to him. It's his decision. I know
Mm-hmm.
if it was my son, 6 year old, and my family was invited to come to Orlando. Me personally, I might not let my family come down there, but I'm gonna be there for my teammates being what's on the line. But that's
Mm-hmm.
me. So that's why I say he's entitled to his opinion. His son got a condition, a respiratory condition. So
Right.
he's obviously had problems with this before. He struggled to recover from whatever sicknesses or
Right.
just in general being cold, the common cold. He struggled to
Right.
recover from that. So I definitely wouldn't want to put my son in that situation. I feel Avery Bradley where he's coming from in that situation. I don't have like nothing against what he's saying. I mean, if he don't wants to play, and if he want to be there for his son, he don't want to bring his family down there. So be it. The NBA has opened up the doors, had given that option without penalizing them.
Right.
He's still getting paid either way if they don't come or if they do come.
Right.
So I mean that's his decision. And that you bring up Avery Bradley, we got Malcolm Brogdon, not Malcolm Brogdon, but Trevor Reeves
Yeah.
and David Beatrice are the other two players in the
Yeah.
NBA who already came out. Uh, and then another thing, when you think about it, him not playing, and you look at the rosters and 15 teams per player, you look at 22 teams participating, that's
Mm-hmm.
only like 0.01% of the NBA players who have came out and said they're not playing.
Right.
So think about that. It's 0.01% the NBA player population that's going to be playing in
Gotcha.
Orlando.
Gotcha. So, man, how do you feel that this is going to affect Avery Bradley's tenure with the Lakers going forward, man? Do you think that you know, by him choosing to sit out now is going to affect him later, later on with contract talks or just playing time in general? Sometimes I think certain things are taken personal. Even when they done for the betterment of you and your family, they still affect you in the long run. Do you feel that this is going to affect him? Is he going to be considered a sellout, by his peers and by the league by not coming and show his Petrus and Trevor Ariza? Trevor Ariza
Yeah.
just got up to Portland, through the trade. How do you feel that that this is going to affect their NBA careers, going forward amongst their peers?
Okay. I'm going to address Trevor Ariza first because I wanted to answer your question with the question. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start at Trevor Ariza.
Go ahead.
Trevor Ariza, his situation is a little bit different. He got a 1 month window where he can be around his son.
Mm-hmm.
I believe his son is now. So I don't know what their relationship was prior to this or anything throughout their life, but I know he got an opportunity for a month to have his son, be around his son, and be a
Mm-hmm.
father to his son. So me as being a father to my two boys, and knowing if I was in a situation where I couldn't be with them and I had a month, to be a father and be around a part of their lives, it's something that I probably wouldn't, put to the side. So
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Reeves, I can understand that
Right.
that situation. That's one of the situations where like, okay, yeah. You shouldn't be playing right now. Anytime you should be playing basketball when you got your son for that. So that's what I want to
Absolutely.
say about Trevor Ariza.
Gotcha.
The question that I was going to ask about you to follow up with the question that you asked, I want you to put on your. We're gonna go back to when we was playing basketball, and we was playing football in school, and
Mm-hmm.
we can go even higher than that. I want you to put on your King James cap,
Mm-hmm.
and you think about when it's time to go to war, and we playing for a championship, and everybody laying it on the line as a team. Um, and we all putting ourselves at risk to go apply out here. And for you not to go to war with us, how would you feel? Um, that's how I would answer that
But
question
you know
with
what?
the question for you.
Absolutely. You know what, man? I would. At first, I'm gonna tell you. At first, genuinely, I would feel kind of lightweight betrayed. It's like we
Right,
we supposed to go to war together, But then me being me, understanding the situation, I say, what, I understand why you did that because if I was in that situation, I probably would have did the same thing, And that, like I said, that's just me, because a lot of times I'll make a uh, judgment on the situation, right away, quick, and then I,
yeah.
I had to sit back and think.
Rapid reaction.
Yeah, I had to
Rapid
sit back and
reaction.
I had to sit back and think about it. Like, man, you know what? I was wrong. I shouldn't have.
Right,
I shouldn't have judged that situation. Not only judge it, prejudge it, uh, judge it unrighteously, if you will, but I should have got all the pieces to the puzzle and learned how that man felt, and seen exactly what the situation was. So
right.
at first I would, and you know what it made me think of, man? It made me think of back in the day when Vince Carter went. There was I think it was Game 7 against the Sixers, and
Uh huh.
he was about to graduate on that Sunday, and Charles Oakley was like, "Yo, man, we need you to be here with the team." But Vince
Right,
Carter opted to go and walk the stage for his college
right,
degree at North Carolina. And
right.
Oakley kind of felt betrayed. He was like, "Well,
Yeah,
this is going to take your head away from the game." And lo and behold, in that Game 7, Vince Carter got the ball at the end of the game, and he had a chance to win to send Toronto to the finals with a win over the Sixers, and he missed the
yeah,
shot.
yeah.
So I think that Oakley came out and spoke on it, but then later on he was like, I understand, that's a very important. That's very important in his life, and I understand why he wanted to walk the stage because
Right,
not too many black people can walk across a. He wanted to have something done for himself, for his family, and be that example. So later on, he came out and he said, "Hey, man, I understand. I was just in basketball mode at the time, and I think
Right.
that's sometimes what we do. We get into our mode without, fully, fully grasping the entire situation. So,
Right.
yes, sir.
That's a great point you bring up. Great point you bring up with going back to the Toronto Raptors, the Philadelphia 76ers series. For viewers who don't remember that was Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great series. Came out of 7 games. It was a
Yeah.
dogfight.
Yep.
Philadelphia, they was one of them teams. Their offense was Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Period. They had a overaged Derek Coleman, and it was a battle. And I
Yeah.
remember it was a lot of controversy surrounding that, Vince Carter going to his graduation and not
Mm-hmm.
being focused for the Game 7.
Yeah.
And Vince Carter played good in Game 7.
He played good.
He
Yep.
didn't come. Yeah, it's like I feel like you should have been with her. But once again, as a man, being a grown man, being a man of your family,
Mm-hmm.
being there for your son, like you can understand it definitely.
Definitely, and that's hey man. I don't fault Avery Bradley. I don't fault Trevor Reeves. I don't fault anybody who decides to stay home with their family during this time. You can't fault them. Your family comes first.
Right, right.
That's the first order right there is your family. If I see you can't lead in your family, then how you gonna lead me on the team?
Yeah,
So
you're right.
family definitely comes first, man. So much respect to Avery Bradley. Most respect to anybody that chose to stay home, during this time,
Absolutely,
because they
absolutely.
to me they choosing their family first.
So I mean, we got to mention Davis Bertans with the Washington Wizards.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
I
forgot
mean,
all about him.
yeah, he's strictly saying, you know what, I don't want to get injured. I'm a free agent this year. He have no plans on being in Washington at all. So
Mm-hmm.
as a teammate, would you even want him to come play?
Not if he feels that way. No, not if he
Right,
feels that way. If that's his attitude and he's come out and say that, hey man, stay home, because you just a cancer right now. You know,
right. You ain't
uh,
focused.
you're not focused, man. Your mindset is on free agency. So you go ahead, work out on your own like you've been doing, and we gonna see what type of noise we can make right here. So stay home.
Keep it pushing.
Yeah, keep it pushing, man. I don't even want to play with you. You know. So
Absolutely.
that's like saying, man, that's like somebody saying, hey, man, I come, but I ain't really gonna be there. I ain't gonna do nothing. Well, stay home.
Yeah,
Just stay home.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. You got about 400 G leaguers that's thirsty, thirsty to
Absolutely,
get some PT,
absolutely,
thirsty. So yeah,
absolutely,
go ahead, go ahead, stay home.
absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of which, man, talking about family and COVID, man. Uh, Jokic and Brogdon are in. Well, Nikolai Jokic, he didn't lost all his weight. He in Serbia, man, and it come out that
He
he
got a
got,
six pack. He
yeah,
got a six pack.
yeah, and it ain't beer either.
It's not beer.
It's not beer.
Yeah,
And
I seen the pictures. I seen the pictures.
yeah, yeah, and then we got Malcolm Brogdon out of Indiana. They both tested positive for COVID, man. So, um, what are your thoughts on that, man? Now that we inching closer to this, we inching closer, and I guess we
Right,
can we can add this on because Howard Beck was saying that the NBA is releasing the details for the media in the next 24 to 48 hours, and also he
yeah,
he was saying that players might want to get started sooner than later. You know,
right.
hold on a second. Hey, Shane, go get my water jug. But he was saying that players might want to get started sooner than later. So, in the midst of these guys testing positive, do you think it's a good idea for um, the NBA to not only release these details, but also start sooner than later? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. As far as releasing the details with the NBA, they needed to release the details when they had it. I'm not gonna say right, but when they had right what they wanted to do, because we don't know what's right yet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all we do know is that we need a social justice, and everybody plays a part in that,
Right.
just not the NBA. So, I mean, with that being said, these players testing positive for COVID, like you said, Jokic, even
Hmm.
his head coach Mike Malone, he's tested
Yeah.
positive for the
Yep.
antibodies, and he said he
Yeah.
felt like he had it back in March.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's a lot of situations where people in general, that's the life that we're living in right now.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, even myself, I haven't been tested or anything, but it was a time in March where I felt a little under the weather.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing extreme, but I knew I wasn't my normal self. But since
Right.
then, I've
Right.
been perfectly fine. So it's just it's one of those situations where like it's like you're gonna have players who test positive for it. Even with
Hmm.
Brogdon, he said he's feeling fine, he's doing well. He plans on joining the team, and he plans on joining the team, joining his teammates down in Orlando when the
Right.
restart next actually what 2 weeks, which is the 11th.
Right.
So like a little over a week away from doing that.
Right.
So these
So you.
players, Jokic, he's gonna be back in the same. The thing about it is that um, Jokic is in Serbia right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He
So
can't get out. They're not letting him
yeah,
out.
exactly. So he still got to get cleared to come back into the United States, which I believe number 45 have already said that athletes who's overseas can fly back into the United States. I don't know if it was a grace period for that, but I know that he had came out and allowed that to happen. So he shouldn't have a problem re-entering, but it's still the risk of you coming from Serbia, who you traveling with, who you bringing back
Right.
into the
Who you
states,
bring?
um,
Absolutely.
who you, so so his situation, his might drag out maybe a week or two later.
Hmm.
Touching on what Howard Beck said, which I thought was it was pretty informative. Like I didn't know that. And speaking of Howard Beck, I think he's an excellent
Hmm.
NBA writer.
Right.
I've been following for a couple of years. Like what he says is like he kind of like whoa, just like if he say it, it's kind of authentic.
It's kind of,
Um,
yeah. I agree with that.
yeah. So, um, but it was real interesting hearing what he says. Like he said, like he was saying that he really can't let out the information. He's really not supposed to be saying. All he can say is that the NBA is going to be releasing information on media personnel being in a bubble. They're
Hmm.
restricted. Whatever is there allowed to happen within the next 24 to 48 hours. He also said that in tone. He said him personally, he's not going. He was like,
Hmm.
it's going to be a lot of things that y'all read about that you see that's going to be like make it like wow. Um, he said he thinks it's a lot of media personnel that's not going to go to the bubble who's just going to cover it from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
During this time. So I'm excited to see what the NBA say. If it's that extreme to where a media personnel is Howard Beck don't even want to just go down to Orlando and deal with
Right.
it
Right.
at all. So whatever they got laid out, it got to be kind of extreme.
Right. So, I mean, excuse me, man. So
Bless
with
you.
the NBA, with this bubble, uh, how do you contain? How do you if you let media personnel in, how do you contain all these people? How do you police all of these people that's coming into this bubble? You got people. You can't have people go out. The restricted amount of people coming in. You're dealing with people who want to bring their families, their own trainers. The coaches. I mean, me personally, I don't believe you can police all that at the same time.
Right. No,
Because
and
you're gonna have to bring
no,
in
go ahead.
you're gonna have to bring in personnel to police the people. You know,
Right.
everybody's gonna be wearing monitors and things like that. So they say, but how do you police the people? How do you bring in people that's gonna police the people? Because then you're gonna have to have somebody policing them as well.
Right.
To make sure that everybody's safe, make sure nobody's getting out. Who's gonna
That's
do all of that?
And so, what I think you're gonna hear from the NBA in the next day or two when they come out with this, and especially with the media personnel, I think the media personnel is at a point to where they're gonna probably have it to where they have to pay for testing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that you got to show proof that you've been tested at prior to that day, as like your temperature being checked and coming in and things like that. Uh, I think it would make sense for that to be part of it
Mm-hmm.
because the media will be going in and out. They'll have different contact. They're not restricted from coming off the bubble like the NBA players are. Or
Right.
so I mean, we really don't know yet if that's going to be part of the
Right.
rule.
Right.
Uh, the NBA has their own media, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the NBA media is going to be restricted to being inside that bubble. But you got your outside sources like Bleacher Report, CBS,
Mm-hmm.
NBC, and Fox, all these other stations.
Right.
Can you go upstairs, please? Thank you. All right. But yeah, you're gonna have all these other things in play for the media player personnel that's coming in, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how do you control the media people who's going in and out outside this bubble,
Right.
and make sure that they're doing what they're self quarantine. It's gonna come up to everybody doing what they're supposed to do as a human being, like what we've been doing for the past 3 months.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
everybody gonna have to self quarantine. You're gonna have to trust. You're gonna have to trust everybody that they're doing their part.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
the NBA only can do so much. If they do their part that they're supposed to do, and they come together, like I said, it's a pandemic, and
Yeah.
I can't express that enough.
Right. Right. And man, I think a lot of the sports league, I don't know if they're even considering what the WWE is doing down in Tampa. They got their own facility. Um, they got strict guidelines where they testing their athletes 3 times a week. Before they can even get into the ring to perform. Those
Right,
guys three times a week. They do 3 shows a week, and they testing them guys 3 times a week. You know, to before they can even step in the ring. They got to be around each other. They got their own performer. They doing everything out of one center. Um, you got the whole everybody that's not from down there, that's not living down there. They got them in one hotel that Vince McMahon and paid for everybody to be at. Talking off to the athletes, to the announcers, to the guys who set up, on down to the guys who do the video recording, like the recording booth for Fox and uh, USA. Everybody's in one place. You know what I mean? And they
right,
they got strict guidelines. Like, yo, man, if you go out, you know what I'm saying, you got to get special permission to go out. To go
right,
out and do certain things. So
right,
only a certain amount of people travel. Like they travel, I think they traveled to Connecticut to do some of their pay-per-views. They did a couple pay-per-views, but yeah, yo, this is our private plane. We only taking a few
right,
set of people. This is what we gonna do. Everybody else, you stay put. Don't do
right,
this, or it's gonna be a problem. So I don't think that the NBA has that much power and authority. Because people not pressed about their job like they might be in the WWE. But I still think it's a good format. They got their own
right,
facility, they got their own
right,
testing, they got everybody together. So um, I just brought them up because I know that this is what they're doing. They never stopped. They never stopped shows. They never stopped, doing anything. So I think that
hmm
the NBA or these leagues could take a page from their book to see, what's the blueprint? How did you keep everybody, together? Because we haven't heard of any one of those guys testing positive yet. So
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I like, and every week for the past 3 weeks when we talk about these things and we come back to the end, it's just like we just don't know.
hmm
We playing a waiting game like everybody else. It's very, very interesting to talk about, to speculate about.
yeah,
Um, it's so many layers to it. It's not even just keeping the players safe. It's protecting the people who working with it and everybody
right.
that's surrounded with it. And then one thing I just want to bring up, just us as we do this, as us being fans
hmm
of the game, um, everything, like essential workers go out every day and they do this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like
I'm
essential,
I'm
like
I'm one of them.
they in the trenches. Yeah,
Yeah,
you one of them. Like
yeah.
in the trenches every day, dealing with this every day. So I think everybody just need to take a deep breath, stop panicking before something
hmm
happens. Just like when this pandemic started, everybody went and bought tissue.
Yeah,
Like just stay back,
right.
take a deep breath, and give it a chance
Yeah,
and see what happens.
right,
We
right.
won't know what happens until we get everybody in one place and we had the initial test numbers and seeing who got a quarantine for however minutes along and how it's going to affect the rosters getting ready to start into the play. And I just
Absolutely,
think that's where we at with it right now.
absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that. So speaking of which, and moving forward, man, we got DeMarcus Cousins, man. He's undecided.
Yeah,
He's undecided, man. He says that a lot of teams interested, but then he might wait until next season, as a free agent to sign with a team. What do you
Right.
what do you think, man? Do you think he should come back and play during this playoffs with a
Right.
team that's interested, or should he wait, and make sure that he's fully healthy, 100%, give his body more time to get healed, or if him signing with a team now, do you think that would shore up a free agency contract because people will get to see him play during this little stint? What do you think on
Right.
that?
Um, for DeMarcus Cousins, I think he should. I think he should sit this one out. Um, Not saying that I don't think he could come back and perform and help a team, but I think for his career, long term. Uh, DeMarcus Cousins is like a lot of people don't know about DeMarcus. They see his demeanor from being on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you see the things that like you hear about the BS that he go through in life in general, but he's a very very passionate basketball player. I remember watching him as a freshman in Kentucky. Um, and just how much he talked about playing for Calipari, how much he enjoyed playing on that team with John Wall and Patrick Peterson. Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Peterson was a senior on that team. Uh, this is a guy who done been through a lot throughout his career. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
he is like on the come up, he getting ready to explode. He getting ready to blossom to the player that we all thought he was. He gets an injury, and it's not just a 1 or 2 week or day to day type of injury.
Right.
These are like season ending sustaining
Right.
injury, and so this is like the fourth major injury that he's coming back from. You got to feel like, as you being an athlete, that you really want to get out there and play and show the world, like I still got it. Injury
Absolutely.
okay. Uh,
Absolutely.
but right now, if I was in this corner and I was in his ear, let's sit this one out. Let's try to team up with John Wall next season. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's take it back to the Kentucky days. The Washington rumors are. I like those rumors a lot.
Yeah.
He would be
Absolutely.
good there. So
Absolutely.
for me, I would say DeMarcus just sit this one out.
Man, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. I think that at this juncture, man, he does need to sit out and just focus on continue doing what he's doing, man, making sure that he's strong. I don't think he's lost a step. I think he still got it. He's just one of them players. Like I said last week, he's one of them players like John Wall that we forget how good he
Yep.
was prior to injury. I think the
Right.
injury, kind of sets. We're right now people. So if we're not seeing it
Right.
right now, then we forget all about it. But DeMarcus Cousins was a beast.
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah.
ball. So I mean,
Sacramento
he was the best player. He was the best center in the league to me.
at a point. At one point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so I think he needs to sit this one out and get ready to sign with Washington. I think that's going to be a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
Um, him, Wall,
Bill.
Bill, man, I think that's going to be a beautiful. That'll be a beautiful team. I think instantly they climb to the
Instantly.
top three teams in the East instantly just with that signing. And I think he'll a guy like Joel Embiid, he'll give Joel Embiid fits, man. Um, so we definitely see what happens with that, man. Let's see what we got. Sharonda said she agreed a year of rehab and see what happens. Absolutely,
Sharonda,
absolutely.
thanks for joining the show, giving us your input. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. He needed a rehab, definitely.
Yep.
You also mentioned about players getting somebody getting it during that time. Um, like that's gonna be one of those situations where everybody needs to social distance.
Mm-hmm.
Just speaking on that, you try to control at the beginning. I hope they go through with it throughout the process. Everybody know how important it is once you get out that first round and you get into them quarterfinals and you get into them conference. I mean the semifinals. Every game counts, man, from day one, even the playing game. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I know for what is it? We came. What was it? From three to 7. How many games separate those teams
I
in the
think it's
West?
four
So
games.
4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about some of these teams like a Houston can play themselves down to a 7 seed and
Yep.
have to play the Clippers in the first round. So
Yep.
uh, it, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Speaking of signings, J.R. Smith. It's been rumored that J.R. Smith, not that Avery Bradley is announced that he's Sitting out, we got J.R. Smith, man, who's everybody's saying that he's a potential signee for the Lakers, man. Good or bad for LA? Sign him or not sign him? What do you think, man?
2018, Game 1,
Right.
NBA Finals. Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
The Cleveland Cavaliers played one of the best, surprisingly, games against that Warriors dynasty
Yeah.
that we had seen throughout those 4 years. In the game where they were just supposed to get blown out, everybody just thought the Cavs were going to get blown out in game one.
Right.
The Cavs were in a position to steal game one in Oakland
Mm-hmm.
and possibly steal the series.
Absolutely.
Um,
I agree
they
with
would have
that.
took home court advantage. Um, I don't, I can't remember the play from who.
George
Someone shot
Hill.
the ball.
George Hill was at the free
George,
throw line. George
okay,
Hill
George
was
Hill
at
was
the
at the free throw line.
George Hill was at the
He
free
missed.
throw line. He missed.
He missed the backside of was it? Yeah, it was. He missed the backside of two shot foul. The
Mm-hmm.
ball come off the rim to the right of the rim. J.R. Smith recovers the offensive rebound. J.R. Smith proceeds to dribble the ball out with time going off the clock. In the game, it was tied, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It was tied.
And he could have
So
put the ball back up. He got the
he could,
rebound.
yeah,
And he
he
could
could
have
have
put
put
the
it, yeah,
ball back up. Game over.
game
Game
over.
over. He put the ball back. I
He
mean,
run,
you know what that remind me of, man? It remind me of when in the finals when LeBron got the block on Iguodala, right? And J.R.
uh,
Smith was the first one to the ball. He got the rebound.
yeah,
He had the ball.
that's a big part of that play.
It was just him. He got the
Yeah,
ball. You know what I mean? Kevin Love was right there. J.R. Smith got the ball. Boom. He secured it. All right. Let's give it up. He gave the ball up. This instance, J.R. Smith, he's right there, perfect position again. Put the ball up. We win the game. You know.
yeah.
That's why situational awareness is so important, man. You got to know
And
who's winning, what's going on. You got to know that it's a tie game. If I put this ball back up or I kick it out, why am I running out the clock? You know,
yeah.
that
Jr.
hurt.
I don't not for that team. I would if I was the Lakers, I would go another route. I'll go out another route. I would see what free agents are still out here. I would see what G League score I could get. You got to think about it. I mean, with Avery Bradley coming out, you still talking about someone coming in playing. You think Carousel gonna get the minutes? You think KCP gonna get those minutes now?
KCP.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the
I
two.
just don't see. He's still coming in, being signed on that team as a 9th, 10th player on that team.
Right, right. And then don't forget, they still got Dion Waiters too.
Yeah, you got Waiters too. So I don't see it as a good sign. J.R. Smith decline has been from since 2015 to 2018. What we're seeing just constantly been on the decline. The beginning of 2019, he played horrible for the Cavs.
Yeah.
In 11, 12 games that he did play,
Right.
before they fired Tyronn Lue.
Right.
Just I don't. But you put him around different players. Can he still knock down shots? Jr. He can still knock down shots. Is he consistent? No. It's not worth signing to me.
Right.
Unless you just bring them in. I mean, that's one of Brian guys. I mean, Champ stayed on our team for 4 years, and Champ ain't had no business. You know what I'm saying? Being on the NBA roster.
Yeah.
So
I agree. But that's the thing, man. You know, as a businessman, I'm not gonna bring you in just because you my boy's boy. You the boy's boy. You know,
right.
I can't do that, man. You know, we got team chemistry. I know Avery's gone. You know, but I'm going the other way. You know, so no, I don't care. I don't care how many hours you done rode the bike. You know, down Rodale Boulevard with LeBron and Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know what I mean?
You done beat somebody up and
Yeah, I
everything.
don't care. I
You done
don't
got your
care.
views up.
Yeah, that don't make no difference to me, man. Don't make no difference to me. Keep it pushing, man. So I'm gonna pass on
Yeah,
JR for the Lakers. I don't think it's a good fit.
I don't either.
Just leave him where he at, man. Let him sit. You know, it's a reason. It's a reason why no team has picked him up. You know what I mean? Right now, It's a reason why
Right.
we talking about LA. If LeBron wasn't in LA, we wouldn't even be
We wouldn't
talking
be
about
talking.
JR going to
Right.
LA. But because of that connection, we automatically got that. Possibility of JR going there. So,
But look at this. But look at this. If the Lakers don't pick him up, do you think another team go out and get Jr.?
nope, nope. If
Right.
so, I think they would have signed him already. I think they would have brought him in already.
Well, I mean, they couldn't. I mean, now they just opened it back up to where you can sign free
Yeah,
agents.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I'm
But I
saying
get what you're
before
saying
that.
before. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's been available. It's not like he wasn't
Right.
available to be signed. Nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him. And
I'm hearing
that's
about Swag. I'm hearing about Swaggy P too.
yeah,
Swaggy.
you know,
I love to see him on the roster just because it's
yeah,
Swaggy, man.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. Man, I'm a Nick Young fan, man. I mean, he goofy. He goofy. You know what I'm saying? He a
Yeah.
goofy dude, man. But he gonna put his heart out there on the floor, man. He gonna play,
Hey,
intensely.
he used to he used to light it up in Washington.
Yeah, yeah,
With him
uh,
and Andre Blatch, he used to light it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
They were horrible, but he was putting up numbers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I know he gonna leave it out there on the floor, man. So we'll see what happens, man.
Definitely.
Um, so moving forward, man. Seeing that we talking about all these players and stuff like that, and like the impact that they will have. What players do you expect to have a breakout performance during the restart, man? What player?
Oh yeah.
What player or what players do you believe that's gonna have a breakout impact? Because I know, man. It's I mean, we've been in quarantine. These guys been in quarantine, but that still doesn't mean that they've been working
Oh,
out,
they
and
still
that
balling.
doesn't
They
yeah
still
that doesn't
balling.
yeah. It don't mean that they have,
Yeah.
and it don't mean that they haven't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, what players or what player or what players do you think is gonna have a breakout performance in the restart? Just gonna go crazy.
All right. I got three guys for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Um, so I got two people in the Eastern Conference, and they're on the same team, and it's a backcourt.
Okay.
The backcourt of the Indiana Pacers are Victor Oladipo
Okay.
and Malcolm Brogdon.
Brogdon.
Um,
Okay.
Brogdon, this year he putting up 16, 3, 4, 7, 7, 1. He having a quietly nice season. Quietly nice season. You get Victor Oladipo back. We seen what he did against
What he
LeBron
was
and the
doing.
Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. His trajectory. He done had time to fully heal back from this. I've been hearing him working out. I've been seeing his videos of him, back in the gym and things like that. I just think he gonna make some noise. He might take a team. He may take a Milwaukee team 7 games. He may take a Boston Celtics
Mm-hmm.
team 7 games, or a Toronto Raptors team 7 games.
Right.
I just think that backcourt is gonna be tough to deal with when the playoffs start. And I think they're gonna step it up a level. They're gonna show people, okay, yeah, Indiana, we got something here too. Um,
Okay.
in the West,
Okay.
in the Western Conference, you speak about the point guard on this team a lot. I want to think about his run. I'm gonna speak about his running partner. I'm talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, I'm a big Chris Paul fan. You're a big Chris Paul fan. We know that's the engine that make that team go right now. That's holding the
Mm-hmm.
glue together. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Alexander.
let
Yeah.
me tell you, the world is gonna get to see him play. We seen it a little bit last season
Mm-hmm.
when the Clippers took the Warriors to 6 games in the
Right.
first round.
Right.
And,
Right.
and it was a big part because of him. He was between him and Lou Williams. That was their offense last season
Yeah.
with the
I agree.
Clippers
I agree with that.
uh, in a tough Western Conference.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
But I can't wait to see him in the playoffs on a big stage playing with someone like Chris Paul,
Mm-hmm.
um, a point guard that's gonna make sure he get the ball to his spots.
Right.
Gonna make sure that the offense maintain running. He can run a half court game. They can open it up. They can run in the open court. Um, they're gonna be a tough out to deal with.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a breakout playoffs.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you my three. All right. I got one out east, and I got two out west. All right. Now, These may or may not surprise you. As a matter of fact, I know my third one gonna surprise you. It's gonna probably surprise everybody that hear it. Actually, but my first guy is Zion. I'm Zion Williamson.
Right.
Zion, he was doing this thing before all of this started, and I think just him getting back from injury, getting his legs under him, you know what I mean? I think right now he's hungry. He's hungry to show that, I'm gonna make y'all really decide on who's going to be rookie of the year. Because once we get into this playoff thing, I think he's ready to show up. He's ready to show that he's going to be a team leader and that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think that's his going to be his whole attitude for this upcoming to get his team into that spot to where they beat out Memphis. You know what I mean? For the AFC, because Memphis really got it locked down already. But I think Zion is going to come out and show, why he was drafted number one overall. So
Yeah.
my second guy is Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal got a chip on his shoulder, man, for just
Right.
being overlooked, because he does play in Washington. He ain't got no help. He really don't have any help down there. So I think that he got this chip on his shoulder to where he's about to put up some crazy numbers, in these 8 games, to
Yeah.
where it's gonna be. Honestly, man, I think we about to see a 8 game stretch from him like we never seen before, man.
Yeah.
Um, so we definitely gonna see what happens with that, man. That's just what I believe, man. Just because his attitude, man. Like, yo, they don't think we should be here. They don't think
Right.
we should be here. So I'm gonna show you, why we here. And then once next season come, this is what it's all about, man. My third guy is gonna be a surprise, man. My third guy is Carmelo Anthony, man. Melo. All right.
You just think he
I think
like I
Melo.
got it.
Go ahead.
Is Melo playing?
Melo playing.
Okay.
Yeah, Melo playing. I ain't got no word. I ain't heard nothing from him sitting out, man. Dame Lillard, posting about him, saying meet me, meet him at the bubble on his IG or whatever. Can't wait to get back with you. I think
Okay.
Melo still got something to prove, man. And with Trevor Ariza sitting out now, I think Melo still got that gas in the tank, man. I think
Yeah.
that these when he did come back when he first came back with Portland, when he signed with them, I think it was just a feel thing. You know, he just went right
Yeah.
into it. Always been working, but right now I think these 8 playoff games, because Melo playing for a contract too, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
this little time right here, it's time for him to just go off, man. I think we're gonna see something special out of Melo, man. So those my top 3 guys who I think gonna show up and show out, man, during this playoff, man, during this 8 games, during this playoff, to make us think like, man, this how it always should be, this how we should be playing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You mentioned Zion, and I wanted to mention his teammate Brandon Ingram.
yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, oh
this is
yeah,
another opportunity. This is gonna be an opportunity for him to shine. People like they haven't really got to see him play. People really didn't start watching New Orleans until Zion came back from injury. Um, so Brandon Ingram having an All-Star year,
yeah. Been on a
breakout
tear,
season already.
been on
Yeah,
a
he been on the
tear,
tear.
been on a
So we're
tear.
gonna get to see him. We're gonna get to see him on that stage. When it comes to the playoffs, everything slows down a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, it's the NBA game still is running and shoot threes, but once it comes to you got to have some type of set where you can run half court
yeah.
offense,
Half court,
and
absolutely,
and that's the difference between the superstars who shine in those half
absolutely,
court sets. To me personally, um,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
and you brought up the last person you just brought up with Carmelo, um, Zach Collins, Nurkic, them two coming
Mm-hmm.
back. Um, it's gonna help out with the spacing so much because you're
Yeah,
bringing back two bigs who can shoot from the perimeter.
right.
Zach Collins can score off the dribble.
Yeah,
So that's gonna help Melo a lot. You can put Melo back on the shoulder. You can let the
Yeah,
backcourt do the thing what they always doing. Hey, we done talked about the Blazers, man. They're gonna be one of
yeah,
those teams that when this restart come back, watch out
yeah. Watch out. They're gonna be on something.
because
They're gonna hurt somebody's feelings.
all they trying
Yeah,
to do is get close enough within 3 games. That's
yeah.
it.
Yep, yep. That's it. Get that one game. That one game playoff. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
That's it,
they're
man.
gonna be tough to deal with.
Right, right. So moving forward, man, we got the 2020 free agents. 2020 free agents, man. Who you gonna be watching closely? Who you gonna be watching
Um,
closely?
you ain't gonna see this one coming, man. This one is a sleeper. 3 years old, 6'8". Um, this would be his. I think this is his third season in the NBA out of Kansas. Josh Jackson. Um,
Okay.
like he was in. He fell out. I don't know what happened with him in Phoenix. He fell out. He got the doghouse. Got sent down to the
Mm-hmm.
G League. Traded. Traded to Memphis. Started in the G League this year. He was brought up right before the All Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly got inserted to the starting lineup. He been averaging, let's see, 10.4, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 51% field goal efficiency percentage. Uh, like he done played even better than that in the last 10 games. You can take
Mm-hmm.
that up in the last 10 games up to 17 points a game,
Right.
5 rebounds a game,
Right.
4 assists a game. Uh, he's one of the players that's still young. He's going to be a free agent. He's not going to cost a lot on the market, and
Mm-hmm.
like can be a really asset. You could put him around. I mean, I even look at my Cavaliers. You looking for someone to play on that wing. You only really
Right.
got Kevin Porter. You're not sure what you're going to do with Chetty in the future.
Right.
Um,
Right.
like you bring in a player like Jackson who just haven't had a chance to blossom with JB Bickerstaff as coach,
Right.
who got this young team. It reminds me a lot of what the Warriors did. People forget that a lot of those players was drafted. They just
They're
brought AD
driving.
in.
There's right. Yeah.
But Draymond, Clay, Stephen Curry. I even think before they got rid of Marquise Chris and a lot of those players, they were still with. They came in with them.
Yeah.
Um, the Warriors didn't get competitive until Mark Jackson took over.
Right.
They
Right.
felt like Mark
Absolutely.
Jackson couldn't get them to the championship, and
Right.
so that's when they brought in Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
They was saying Mark.
Cavaliers right
Yeah.
now, yeah, that that reminds me of the Cavaliers. But Josh Jackson is a player that I'm gonna keep my eye out. I think he's gonna be a steal whenever they do have a free agency. Whoever team he come out with, I think he's gonna play a key role, whatever it may be. And he's one of those players that can still blossom into a
Absolutely.
into an all-star type player.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think the issue, I think Mark Jackson, what happened with that was they were saying that he was sowing discord in the between the players and front office, man. Um,
But
yeah, they were saying that Mark Jackson
yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to
you're right.
turn the
I mean,
players
you're
against the
right.
front office. So I think that's probably why he's not a coach in the league right now, man. Because of that, what happened in Golden State, man, because they were saying that I mean, pretty much a stand up organization and whatnot, man, with the owners and things like that. So,
I've been hearing him. I've been hearing whispers about him, him or either Tyronn Lue to the Brooklyn Nets.
that would be a good fit.
So
That'd be a good
yeah,
fit for Mark. Hey, that's Mark Jackson's team that won that championship, man.
yeah. I mean, Mark Jackson,
For
he is
real.
from Queens, so
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you two guys. My first guy is Spencer Dinwiddie, man. Spencer Dinwiddie.
then with
Uh,
it.
yeah,
I
Spencer
love his
Dinwiddie.
story. I love his story, but go
Mm,
ahead.
man, I think a lot of people sleep on him, man. He don't get a
Yeah,
lot of credit that he deserved down in or up in Brooklyn, I should say. He averaging 20.6 points a game, almost 7 assists, 3.5 rebounds a game. You can't sleep on those type of numbers, man. I mean, and when he's
right.
when he's balling, he's balling, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like the games that Kyrie didn't play, Spencer Dinwiddie
Right.
was the guy. He was the
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
even and I guess I would venture that in some of those games that Kyrie did play, Spencer Dinwiddie still did his thing, but he was just overshadowed by Kyrie and that attention that Kyrie garners.
I
But
don't I don't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to
no,
throw in when Levert went down, he really stepped up because they
yeah,
had lost Kyrie and they weren't playing with Levert, and he really
yeah,
had shine. But you can go ahead. I just want to throw that
yeah,
in.
yeah. He did that this past. He did that before we during this season, and he did it last season. He was balling last season. He was, I mean, he was the guy. He was their go-to guy. So definitely want to keep an eye on him, man. And I think he's gonna garner a lot of attention. I think teams are they being quiet, but if Brooklyn lets him go, it's gonna be a bad move because
Right.
once KD come back, you got Levert, Kyrie, you got a four-headed monster right there, man.
Yeah.
You got a four-headed
That's
you got
gonna.
a four-headed monster. It's just a matter of ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If KD can lose a little bit of ego like he lost in Golden State, like you the guy, but
Yeah.
are you gonna make your other guys better? You know what I mean? It's really gonna show. It's really gonna show character. Because Dinwiddie, he's the truth, man. My second guy is Montrezl Harrell. 16 points a game, great defender. Six and a half boards a game, and that's off the bench. That's coming off the bench, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he can help a lot of teams out. I hope he
Yeah.
one thing I hope he doesn't turn into a Damari Carroll type player. You understand what I'm saying? To where he get big
I know what you
money.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah. And
saying? He
then
get
it
then
fizzle
just
out.
fall off,
Yeah.
then fizzle out. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm seeing. So um, I think that he can be a starter in this league, and maybe he is a system guy, but that's just to be determined. But all I can go off is what he's doing now. You know what I mean? Coming off the bench for the Clippers. Once he inserted into that lineup, what he's doing and the change of pace that he has for the team and off the bench, man. So definitely looking to see what they're gonna do with him, man, or what
Yeah.
he's gonna do.
Montreal Harrell's a beast.
Yeah,
Doc River do a good job. And, Doc River do a good job of letting his players not only play to their strength, but he let them play.
yeah,
So being that said, he don't run a lot of offense for Harold. But when
right,
Harold's in the game and he has the ball, he give him the leverage to go take his own shot, make his
absolutely.
own play,
Yep,
make that basketball decision.
yep, yep,
I think like Doc is just the perfect coach for him.
yeah,
He play hard. He remind me a lot of Kenneth Faried when he first came
yeah,
in
yep,
before the injuries. How the hustle part of it.
yeah, yep,
He got a better
absolutely.
shot than what a lot of people think.
Yeah,
You see him; he got the size of a banger, but he can step outside. He can hit it from 20 feet in.
right,
Occasionally hit
right,
the 3-pointer. That's a good. Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah,
interesting to see if he resign with LA or he goes somewhere else, like
yeah,
to Atlanta.
yeah.
Atlanta's putting together the team that they like.
They,
I think Atlanta starting five this year, or not even their starting five, but I know they had five players. The top five players who averaged minute on Atlanta was all
hmm
under 22 years old.
yeah, yeah,
So
and they just added Clint Capella. So
yeah, and they just added Clint Capella, yeah. And people
man,
forget they got DeAndre Hunter and
yeah,
Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
So they kind of like the Cavs again. It's one of those teams that they're putting together a lot of talent, and they're young right now, really
right,
really young.
right. So
But
just
so maybe you see him go somewhere. It was someone else that I wanted to mention when you had mentioned with Dinwiddie and Karras. I mean, you brought up KD. Um, if he can be humble enough and have an
hmm
argument, man, KD had an argument, man. Like I remember watching the 17 NBA Finals, the 18 NBA Finals. Uh, I'm a diehard Cavs fan, just like you are.
hmm
But Kevin Durant was the best basketball player on the court in both of those finals. I'm sorry. Uh, even with the numbers, LeBron put up
right,
stupid
right.
numbers in those series. But the best basketball player on the court for those two final
For those,
appearances, I'm not talking about the season. I'm not talking about the playoffs prior to that. I'm talking about the NBA Finals. The
hmm
best player on the court was Kevin Durant. When LeBron got on him, LeBron couldn't do nothing with him. When Tristan switched on him, Tristan couldn't do nothing with him. I mean, he picked the spots. The dagger three, what was it? Was it game 5? when he came down. No, it was game 4
That was game
when he came
4.
down and he pulled up from like 40.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the silencer.
Yeah,
It was just.
I
It
can
was
still
just
hear dude
it,
like bang. Oh man,
like, like. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. He had. I'm just saying, KD had a. All right, it was all Steph. You know what I mean? But once again, Kevin Durant was the final MVP.
yeah,
Um, so he had an argument. He
right.
he 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 he's still soft. He's still a cupcake, but he had an argument.
Still a soft batch cookie, huh? Still a soft batch
Yeah.
cookie.
Because he pulled up the weakest move in history of
Right,
free
right.
agency.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. All right, so moving forward, man. Speaking of impact and the impact that players have on their team, man, and what players gonna have a breakout return. Who do you think in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference is gonna have the biggest impact on the title chase for their team? Who in the Eastern
uh,
Conference and who in the Western Conference?
in the Eastern Conference, I think you are. I ain't even gonna start the Eastern Conference because I think you already know who I'm going with the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, it was so many players that popped up in my head. LeBron, obviously. Kawhi, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But James Harden, obviously. But when you think about it, the one player that I want to see that's gonna have to take it up to the next level for them to win a championship is gonna be Paul George.
Oh
Um,
man, hold on, man, hold
Paul
on.
George.
Let me turn this screen, bro. So you don't think I'm lying, man. Look, who do I got right there, man? Who
Paul
do I got?
George.
Paul George.
Paul George.
Man.
Awesome. Yeah, man. But so you already know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So he like Paul George to me, like in the playoffs, uh, he started off. He done fought through the battles with LeBron when he was in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
He done came back with Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, he went to the playoffs with
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook. They got ousted by Portland Trail
By
Blazers.
Paul.
Uh, like they're gonna need like Kawhi, like the Clippers are gonna need him. They're gonna need
Yeah,
Paul George to be Paul George.
absolutely.
The Paul George of Indiana Pacers,
Mm-hmm.
who was busting the Cavs ass.
Yeah.
Um, that's the player that they're gonna need. I think him than any other. I wouldn't even want to call him a sidekick with Kawhi. That's 1A and 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Even more than Russell Westbrook because I feel like right now, I feel like Westbrook is the alpha on the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
That's for another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Paul George.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna go back to the East, you know I'm high on the Toronto Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
The veteran team, they've been through the wars. Um, another team that had to go through LeBron year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they ready. They battle tested. Pascal Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just think that he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be that guy in the playoffs. I can't wait to see him on that stage
Mm-hmm.
to where like he's the man now. The offense has ran through him. Um, I'm confident in the players that surround Siakam. Um, they done been through the wars. Like I said, they done made the big shots.
Right.
Van Fleet. We done spoke. I mean, we done spoke on this team. It's just
Yeah.
a veteran team. You still got Gasol. So
Who's lost a lot of weight, by the way. He didn't came
yeah,
down too,
yeah.
man. He didn't came down
They've
with
been on
his.
that European diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've been on
Yeah,
that
man.
European diet. Everybody keto.
Right. Right. So you said Paul George and
But still,
Pascal
please speak.
Siakam.
Yeah, speak on them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I'm in total agreement, man. That's why I had to show you, man. Like, yeah,
yeah,
when you said Paul George, I knew where you was going. I was like, man, he about to say Paul George, man. I guarantee you he gonna say Paul George. And
yeah,
man, that's man. When the question came up, man, I was like, man, the biggest impact, Paul George. That's that, man. Listen, Paul George, if he can get back to, like you said, those Indiana days,
yeah,
the pre injury, the pre broken leg, man, how he was
yeah,
playing, he has to build that confidence. We know what he can do. You know what I mean? He's a streaky player, but
yeah,
he's not a streaky player because he can just go off. If you play to his strengths, you know what I mean, and let him do what he do, I think that he's gonna be he's that player that's gonna have a lot of say so on whether the Clippers win the championship or not, man.
Right.
He's the X factor for the Clippers. More than your Reggie Jackson, more than your Pat Beverly, more than your
Right.
Morris, more than your Harrell, more than Lou Williams. Paul George is that X factor.
Oh yeah.
If Paul George is playing Paul George basketball, like you said, the 1A, 1B with Kawhi Leonard, man. I even think
Right.
me personally, I think Paul George can have more of an impact than Kawhi Leonard can. You know,
I agree with you.
if he's playing Paul George basketball,
I, I agree with you.
if we see that Paul George, man, where he slimmed down a little bit more, I think he'd have put on a little weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting lackadaisical or whatever. But hopefully during this quarantine, man, he just slimmed down a little bit, got back down to
Right.
200 pounds or whatever. He's the X factor, man. He's the X
I'm
factor.
telling you, The Last Dance got a lot of these superstars motivated, man.
Yeah, I
Them
agree.
seeing The Last Dance, they seeing the competitor that Michael, like
Yeah,
everybody done heard the story, the myth of Michael Jordan. Me and you seen him play.
yeah.
Um, with that coming out, some of these superstars really got to see like what we seen our whole childhood coming up.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely,
think that's gonna,
absolutely.
yeah, I think that's gonna motivate a lot of these
A
superstars.
lot of these guys to say, "Hey, man, I need to be this killer." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Need to be this killer, man. Like you said, Paul George used to give us fits in Cleveland. He
yeah,
was giving
oh
LeBron
yeah,
fits on the offense and defensive end. You
yeah,
know
on
what I
both sides,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's back when with the Danny Granger days. You know,
yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Look, I'm going all the way back, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah, Danny Granger. Yeah, they had a
but
squad.
yeah,
Big Hibbert,
yeah,
Roy
yep,
Hibbert. Yeah,
yep, yep.
Young Lance.
Shout out to David West, man. Actually got a
Oh
chance
yeah.
to see him in the gym. You know what I mean,
Okay.
with his hands. So
Okay.
he's one of them guys, man. That's nice, man. I wouldn't, regular NBA guy don't want to mess with him. He one of them guys you don't want to mess with. You know?
Right. Right. Right.
Uh, Going to the Eastern Conference, man. My guy is Joel Embiid, man. Joel Embiid,
Indeed.
I think we done spoke on this, man, with the
Yeah.
Sixers. I think Joel Embiid need to get down low, play with his back to the basket, as one of the best players in the league, best centers in the league, if you will, or the best center in the league,
Yeah.
and not rely so much on that 3-point shot. I think every time he takes that 3-point shot, he's taking his
Yeah.
team out the game. He definitely taking his team out the game. So being him being what's the word I'm looking for? Him being tuned in, you know what I mean, and in the zone. That hey man, I'm the best player in the league, man. I'm about to win it for my team. I think it was one game,
Right.
man. One game that we saw. I think Ben Simmons had went out with a back injury, and Joel Embiid stepped up, man. He was hitting turnarounds. He was taking it to the hole. You know what I mean? I think he finished with
Yeah.
something like 47. He finished with
Yeah.
47. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about last playoff?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a
Hold on.
playoff. I
Hold
think it
on one
was.
sec. Hold on
Yeah,
1 second.
yep.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
No, that's cool. No, this man, this was during the regular season. This was during the
Okay.
regular season because before the quarantine, Ben Simmons was having back problems, and this was just before the quarantine. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was an ESPN game. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so he was just going off. He was playing to his strengths. He put the team on his back. Say, hey man, give me the ball, and he was doing
Yeah.
everything. So that's the Joel Embiid that we need to see, man. And if we don't see that Joel Embiid, then it's gonna be a short series. You know what I mean? Short playoffs for the Sixers, man. It's gonna be a short
Yeah.
playoff. You know,
Yeah.
those my
That,
guys, man.
like with the Sixers, we done spoken this before, and I agree with you on Joel Embiid, man. He gonna have to step up. He gonna have to be that guy, man. He gonna have to take control. He gonna have to take over games. He gonna have to be Pat Ewing without the finger
Hmm.
rolls.
Right. Yeah.
So like Ben Simmons gotta come through, man. Like he gotta be accountable offense. Like
Yeah.
you can't have 5 guys playing in the paint on defense because you ain't got no jumper. Like people
Right.
giving you 10 feet of space, man. You gotta, if not even hitting the 3 point shot, man, you gotta be able to step inside that line to be able to
Step
hit it at
inside
the
that
top of the
line and
key.
hit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you got to be able to make that shot.
Right.
If Ben Simmons can ever do that consistently, he only got to make like 5 or 6 of those a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It ain't like he got to just he ain't got to shoot 10 for 27. You know what I mean? Like all he got to do is make 5 or 6 because he's that good. He's that good. He LeBron-ish when it comes to making the right basketball play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Embiid gonna have to step up, but Ben Simmons gonna have to be accountable
Yeah.
offensively.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. You think, man, he should try to switch his shot like Tristan Thompson did? You know, Tristan Thompson started out as a lefty, but
He
now,
ambidextrous though. It's Ben
yeah,
Simmons. Oh, he is.
I'm not
Um,
sure. I'm not sure.
it don't look like. I mean, it don't even look like he got a bad shot. I think it's a confidence thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
Like
with
it's
that.
a.
I agree with that.
You got to realize he probably like every time he done a shot one, he done hit it. It'd have been a brick, air ball,
Mm-hmm.
Buzz laughing. So they been this done been happening. This psychological. This been going on probably his whole career. When he was at LSU, I don't remember him taking no jump shots.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Hey.
I don't remember taking no jump shots at LSU.
Nope.
So I think it's mental, man. If you can get past that mental aspect, he can focus, get some confidence going.
Right.
His teammates got to encourage him.
Yeah.
Like you see on the Last Dance. Mike told hey Curry, you be ready, man. They gonna
Yeah.
collapse
Yeah.
on him, and you are gonna be right at the top of the key. Make it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you got
Yep.
your teammates got to get in your ear.
Yeah.
I don't think Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid on the same page as far as winning. I think both of them. I think Ben Simmons may be a little bit more humble than Joel Embiid. I think Embiid is like, I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do is we gonna win through how we do it. And I think Ben Simmons just be like, fuck it, I'm just rolling with it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. But you know what? You need that balance though, man. You need that guy that's going, that's gonna have all that confidence, man. Because
Yeah,
that if that's gonna help you out, make you play better, you know what I mean, and galvanize you. Like, yo, man, I'm talking trash. I got to talk trash to get these guys, galvanized, get them in the game, and that's what I'm gonna do, man. You know what I mean? I got to,
right.
So um, we definitely, man. I think like we said, man, a couple weeks ago, it's all about coaching. You know what I mean? Coaching, holding those guys accountable
Yeah,
to what they're gonna do, man. This is where I want you to be on the floor. You know what I mean? Not what Jimmy Butler was saying when they was in the film room, just
right,
sitting there, nobody saying nothing, doing not even the coaches. That
right.
culture that has to change, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You got to call guys out, like, yo, man, you
yeah,
missed your spot right there. We need you right here every single time.
right.
So that culture has to change in there, man. They had to have a
Yeah.
winning
I
culture.
mean, Brett Brown, he's out of there. Like this is probably his last time. It's probably his last year coaching. He out of there.
Yeah.
Now if they can get their hands on the likes like a Jason Kidd or a Mark Jackson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what happened with that.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Definitely. I think that they would garner a lot more respect from those guys because
Right,
those guys are proven. You know what I mean? They the game before. You know what I mean? And now today's players, the age of Coach Pop, over with. Jerry Sloan, rest in peace. Those
rest in
guys,
peace.
those days are over with those type of coaches, man.
Right.
Players really hearken to the voice of, guys that didn't play before. Your Jason
Jerry
Kids.
Jerry Sloan was Greg Popovich before Greg Popovich.
Yeah,
And Greg
absolutely. I
Popovich,
agree with
if you get what I mean, Greg Popovich been doing it for a minute, but Jerry Sloan was that type of
that.
coach before
Yeah,
Greg Popovich.
yeah.
Yeah,
That Utah was San Antonio before San Antonio was. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly.
Um, so we didn't left the days of those type of coaches. Your Phil Jacksons, man. Your Larry Browns. We don't got those guys no more. You know what I mean?
Nah,
These guys are getting younger. I mean, it's sad to say. I mean, say it, but the white guys they getting younger. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't played the game. You know what I mean? They've been brought up through the farm system. And when I say the farm
Right.
system, I mean the media room. You know what I mean? They go
Right.
from the media room to offensive shooting coach.
Yeah.
To assistant coach to head coach. You know what I mean? And it's like, hold on, man, you was just in the media room. How you the
Right.
offensive coordinator? But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Definitely. I
just
give. Yeah.
that's how I go, man. So, um, got very few basketball guys, who love the game anymore, man. So that's why players, prefer to play with a guy who's been played before. They
Right.
give him much more respect. You know,
Uh, It's like, well, who are your top five coaches in the NBA right now?
top five.
Yeah. No. No. No Pacific order.
Right now, man, I'm gonna go with. I definitely think that, and I'm not. He's not even Doc Rivers. Definitely,
Doc.
Doc. Definitely got to go with Pop. Um, got to go with oh man, what's my man in Boston? Young boy.
Brad.
Brad.
Stevens.
Yeah, Brad Stevens.
Brad
Yeah.
Stevens.
Now I think he's an exception to the rule. Um, my opinion. My man in LA with the Lakers, and number five. Let's see who doing something, man. Uh, Number five. I'm gonna go with Alvin Gentry, man.
Gentry, a good coach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gentry.
Interesting. You know what? I agree. That's a good list. You had Doc, Pop, Brad Stevens. Um, what's the LA
Vote,
coach name? What's
vote Frank.
Frank Vogel, Frank
Yep.
Vogel.
And
Yeah, only
then
people I would take off. Like I agree with my list. I would have Doc. I would have Pop. I would have I don't know if I would have Brad Stevens, even though he's a good coach. I really like Eric Spoelstra.
yeah.
I think he's a really good coach, man. He's one of them coaches that came up, like you said, from the media
Mm-hmm.
room, from the film room, equipment manager.
Mm-hmm.
Messed around, get assistant coach or shooting coach, but he came up from the film room, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric Spoelstra is a good coach. The way he handled the big three, um, the way he kept that team together.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now, let me ask you this: was that him or was that Pat? Because Pat stood up for him,
nah,
man. When
yeah,
they was
that was
Pat stood up like, yo, man, this is the coach. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you get that, um, what the word I'm looking for? If you get that recommendation or you get that uh what's the thing you say
I
with
get what
that?
you're saying. That
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
affirmation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, from Pat Riley, the legend. Like, okay, like he giving you the authorization, like you got to hold these players accountable. Like I would hold these players accountable, and I think that LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh respected that and allowed Spoelstra to coach them.
Mm-hmm.
Because them three are the biggest superstars that was in the NBA at the time. So they could have easily been like, what happened with David Blatt here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, like they could have disrespected him, but they
Right.
allowed Eric Spoelstra to coach him. And I believe, like, we seen Spoelstra get up in LeBron face, we seen him up in Wade face, we seen him up in
Mm-hmm.
Bosh face. He coached them. You know what I mean? Like at the
Right.
end of the day, yes, y'all this and that, but I'm still the head coach of this thing.
Absolutely.
Uh, and
Absolutely.
what he doing now? Like every year the Heat, I think they haven't made a playoff like 1 year since LeBron
Since
left
Brian
because
left, yeah.
yeah. So it's been 1 year that they haven't made it, and he's done it with Dragon as point guard. I think they just traded the other guy with Tyler Johnson. Like these are the players
Mm-hmm.
that he was getting to the playoffs with. So
Right.
he's a good coach.
Right.
It was one more person I wanted to throw in there that I think is underlooked. Uh, Michael Malone, man, in Denver.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure. For sure. I totally agree with that.
what else he got to do? I think Jokic. You said you felt like Joel Embiid is the best center in the NBA right now. Well, I think like Jokic is. I think Jokic is the best pure center in the NBA right now,
Okay. Okay.
offensively and defensively. No,
Okay.
not defensively. Rudy Gobert is the best defensive center
Defensive.
in the league
Yeah,
to me. Yeah, like
I agree with
easily.
that.
Uh, but I think Jokic is the best all around center in the NBA right now.
Hmm.
So you got to give Mitch Malone, man, some props, man. They close to 60 games like the past 3 years
Right.
consistently. So,
I agree with that.
uh,
Definitely. Definitely.
and yeah, that would be the only two changes. Brad like would be right there. I'm trying to think is and I'm leaving out. Yeah, them would be my coaches right there.
That's what's up, man.
And yeah, probably.
So, so man, I think that's it, man. I think we didn't tackled everything, man. Um, we're gonna wrap everything up, man. And I
Oh yeah.
appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate. Always appreciate your insight, man. And your take on everything, man. It definitely offers a different perspective. You know what I mean? Just being a fan, man. So it's definitely appreciated, man. And
And I bounced some words right back off you, right back to you. Um, it's fun making this thing grow, watching it grow, and we just gonna keep it going, man. I look
yes,
forward to
sir.
the next session.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Everybody with their comments. Everybody that's gonna come back with their comments. We're gonna try to answer them as best we can. Catch us next week, on Serious NBA Heads, and catch us as well on Serious NFL Heads, man. And we're gonna get with y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right.
Salute.
All right. Signing out.